Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Ramirez Jr. I'm joined tonight by my co-host David, aka SportsNtunes, and we have the pleasure of interviewing pro boxer, Bay Area's own Charlie Sheehy. How's it going, Charlie?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
No problem. Pleasure's all ours. Thank you for making the time. It's an honor to get to talk boxing with you tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So the first question we want to start off with, is rather basic, but we always like to ask this to our guests just to see how they got their start in the sport. So Charlie, how did you get into boxing?
So growing up, I was just very athletic, played a lot of sports, and I had like a bad attitude when it came to team sports. I hated losing. I hate when people weren't like as athletically gifted as I was. I would just get mad. So my baseball coach was also a boxing coach, and he took me to the gym, and he had me spar like right away, and I just fell in love with it.
Sweet, perfect. And before we get into the next question, I actually have a clip. I know you only had four pro fights yet, but I got some clips of your fights. So for those that aren't familiar with you, I want to play that clip so they can kind of get a feel for your style. So let me go ahead and play that.
Sure.
Man, that was quite the uppercut there, Charlie.
Yeah.
Boom.
My personal favorite was the one here in Health Dignity Sport. That was
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think what I like from those clips too is like in the very last one, like you see some of your ability to fight backwards.
Yeah,
that was definitely good skill.
I like that.
Good stuff. So in your last fight, Tim Bradley was telling us a story of you couldn't beat this guy in your career, and you kept going back to him until you were able to get him several years later. Could you provide a background story on this guy and how old you were, if you recall his name, and what you learned from that experience?
Yeah, so it was my first fight in boxing. So like I said, I jumped right into it. I think I trained for like 2 weeks, and my coach put me into a fight just because I loved it that much. And there was this guy, Richard Ledesma was his name, from San Jose, and he beat me. He beat my first fight, and he beat my second fight, and then I got a couple of wins after, and then I fought him again. He beat me again. He beat me, and then there's just something about it. Like every time I'd feel like I should have got the win, but I could never get it. And then a couple of years later, we got older and we went down there to spar, man. I felt like I got it all back.
Nice. It was a rivalry for North Cal, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he beat me every time, so not really a rivalry, but.
But you went on to do great things in the amateurs. We see you 17-time national champion. You're also part of the Olympic team. Can you tell us what kind of sacrifices you had to do to kind of get to that elite level in the amateurs?
I mean, just really just dedication. Like over the years, like I would have a bunch of people coming in the gym, start training. They'd be there for like a year, and then never see him again. And I feel like I was just always the one consistently in the gym year after year after year. And yeah, just the more you're doing something, the better you're going to get. So my dedication got me where I'm at.
That's awesome.
Man. That's great. So you do also have victories over Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz in the amateurs. What can you recall from those fights?
Yeah, there's both. I fought them both in the finals of the tournaments that we're at. We were a lot younger too. I was like 11 when I fought Ryan and like 12 when I fought Virgil. But I mean, to me, it's nothing really to like brag about now. But it's just cool seeing how far they've gone in the pros. So and just knowing that I've been around as long as those guys have, but they they turned pro earlier than I have, so I got some catching up to do. But it's cool looking back at it now, like having fought against those guys in the amateurs.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely, like you said, motivation kind of, for your own career. And I want to mention another one of your amateur rivals, Keyshawn Davis, which, I know you guys had kind of, that fight for the last spot in the Olympics for a while. Do you think we're going to get that fight between you guys and the pros?
I mean, probably, because I know Keyshawn, he's a really good fighter. So I know he's gonna be at the top of the sport, and I know I'm gonna be there. And we've been around the same weight pretty much our whole career. So I think for sure we'll probably eventually meet up.
For sure. And then we have a Skywalker here in the comments. What up, Skywalker? He says, checking out your box rec. You've been very active this year, fighting 3 times. Do you have a fight already kind of set up, your next fight?
Yeah, I should be fighting pretty soon, but I don't have an official date yet. But once these cards start getting announced, up and coming, my fight will get announced too.
Would you be open to being on that Haney Cambosos card in Australia?
Oh yeah, that'd be super. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. Let's make the call.
Bob, if you're listening,
I was gonna go out there for the first one to be Cambosos' sparring partner, but my fight fell out. I was supposed to fight on the Stevenson Valdez card, and my fight fell out, and I got pushed back like 3 weeks later on the Janabek card, so I couldn't go down to Australia.
Man, well, adding more onto the beginnings of your pro career, man, we saw your first fight was actually with Matchroom, but you ended up signing with Top Rank. Was there a reason you chose Top Rank over any other offers, or was there anyone else that you were considering signing with?
I mean, I was looking for all the top promoters, but once Top Rank called, it's that to me that's just the best promotional company you could be with, like ESPN, all the publicity, they got all the superstars, and yeah, so Top Rank I just felt like was the best decision I could make. I see how they build their fighters, and I was excited to be a part of that.
And Jose, maybe you want to elaborate on this, but we get a lot of mixed reviews on Top Rank. Are they really a good company to go with? Because we get a lot of feedback, both good and bad. But
yeah, well, just kind of add some color to that question. We had Emmanuel Vaquero Navarrete on the show, and during the comments, there's some people just saying, "Yo, watch out for Bob Arum. He's a snake." I don't know how much credibility that is into comments from fans on the outside, but that was kind of some of the things we saw on there. Obviously Bob Arum's been in the sport, for a very, very long time. Fighters keep signing to him, so I would say that it's probably not true.
Yeah. That's what we wanted to ask you. And so Top Rank, you think is a great company to be with?
Yeah, I'm loving my experience with Top Rank so far. I feel like they're taking very good care of me, and they're developing me at a real good pace, and I'm happy how they're moving me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you already kind of getting televised fights, being on the Zone card. So I would agree. And speaking of your fights, you're currently campaigning at 135 pounds. Is that the weight class you plan to win your first championship at?
Yeah, definitely. Early on, I was thinking like maybe I could drop to 130, but I think 135 is going to be my weight for my first title.
For sure.
Nice. And well, we just asked earlier. They asked in the comments earlier about any news for your next upcoming fight. Do you have any intel on what's going on?
I can't really say too much because, you know, being so early in my career, it just changes all the time. So I don't want to I don't want to say anything and then have it be something else. So it'll be before the end of the year for sure.
Definitely. And then as far as your next opponent, do you get a few options to pick from, or essentially just tell you this is the guy?
Yeah, they usually just send me a guy, and then it's usually just like up to me if I want to fight or not. But I just say yeah to whoever they send me right away. Just I trust the matchmakers. You know, I see how they develop all their fighters. So if they're sending me an opponent, then I just see it as like I need to pass this test. So
All right. And how do you prepare for each fight? Do you usually watch tapes on your opponents, or do you just work on yourself and adapt to anything you need to fix on your previous fights? Do you need to work on anything, or you just
yeah, so
on your own
when
way?
we first get our opponent, we'll all sit down, we'll put his fight on at the gym, and then I'll see like I'll see like enough, and then after that, I don't really watch too much film on him. My coaches will do all that, and then they'll come up with their game plan, and then I'll already be thinking about what I see on him, and then we go about it from there.
Right on.
For sure. And then I also see, sticking still to your training camp, you're currently splitting your camps between, here in the Bay Area and then Florida. What has that experience been like?
It's great. I love it. You know, when all you do is train, it could get very repetitive. So being able to go somewhere new and a different environment for a whole camp, it's great. I love it. It keeps things like fresh.
Nice.
Yeah. And what's it like in Florida? I mean, you do train with Sander Sayas. Is it different when you're sparring and training with another pro alongside you, or does it make any difference?
It's more motivating, like having like being, because when I'm in Florida, me and Xander train every session together. So it's like having someone that's, you know, further along in their pro career, having that right next to me and seeing how he's working and pushing in the gym. It's just motivating me to keep going harder. Whereas back here, there's fighters in the gym that are working hard too, but I'm the only professional right now, so I feel like I have to be the one to set the tone in the gym.
Yeah, for sure. And talking about the Bay Area, I feel like there's been a bit of a gap since Underwood retired, and I know Nonito's kind of still carrying on, but there isn't too many Bay Area boxers that are representing the region. What are your thoughts on the Bay Area boxing scene at the moment?
I feel like we're coming back. I think we got a lot of very good up and coming talent. Especially like prospects now too. Like I think a lot of these fighters are gonna do big things in this sport.
Nice, yeah. And I think isn't somebody from the Bay signed to Mayweather Promotions, like super young?
Yeah, David Lopez.
Yeah, David Lopez.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
From Oakland.
Man, well, Jose and I, we both agree that you're groomed to be the next great Bay Area fighter, man. Do you feel any pressure to represent the Bay Area? For example, with the likes of someone like Andre Ward?
No, I don't feel any pressure. To be honest, I haven't even really thought about it like that. But I'm just happy to represent the Bay, and I mean, I would love to be the one to bring boxing back here.
For sure. And then, when you are in the Bay Area, Charlie, do you have to travel far to get sparring, or does basically sparring come to you?
It depends. Like sometimes we'll have good sparring where I'm at, but usually we'll have to drive like an hour or two away to get some high level work. But there's a lot of good guys around me that I could spar with.
Right. It's like the other hotbeds in NorCal, right? You got Sacramento, and then you got Stockton.
Yeah.
Oakland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, talking about good guys, who's the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with, either in sparring or in the ring in the fight night?
Hardest puncher. I mean, it'd probably have to be like a heavier guy. Like I've done like technical sparring with guys like Richard Torres, and I know he's holding back on power, but it doesn't feel like that when he's working. So I'd probably say someone like him.
Absolutely, Richard Torres.
Definitely. Cool. And then for the next question, what's an opponent of yours that surprised you and turned out to be better than you expected?
My last opponent, he was a lot tougher than I was expecting. You know, watching him on film, I didn't underestimate him like at all, because I came in top shape and I was ready to go. I knew he was gonna come, but I was not expecting him to just take all my punches like that and just keep coming harder after I was catching him.
Right.
Yeah. And let me, before I ask my next question, who's the guy that you fought out here in Carson? I saw that fight and you looked really comfortable.
That was the one are you talking about the one in Fresno?
Oh, it wasn't down here in Carson? You didn't fight Health Dignity Sports?
No, I fought both. My first two fights were in Fresno, and then
it was the one on the zone card. I think it was the zone card.
I think it was Fresno.
That was
Fresno. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How was that? Is that the one you were talking about?
No, that was my debut. I think that was my worst fight.
Really? You looked really good on that one though. Like
yeah,
I
don't know, kind of tough on myself, but I feel like I made that. Like I didn't look the way I wanted to for a debut, but I ended up getting the stoppage. So
yeah, you convinced me, bro. So you did good enough.
And then David, before we go to your next question, I'm just curious because like that your pro fight was a kind of outdoor venue, so you got like the hot on you, the sun on you. Is there a difference fighting outdoors versus indoors?
I mean the sun didn't really affect me in that specific fight, but I know it could, like especially if that glare was coming down like in my face, it could affect me. So, but in that fight specifically, I didn't feel any difference.
Right.
Gotcha.
Man, and going back to your childhood, who was your favorite boxer growing up?
Growing up, I loved Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
I loved Floyd's style, and then just Manny Pacquiao's excitement and the way like fans just cherished him. I love that.
Yeah, they knew they were gonna see some fireworks when they saw Manny Pacquiao. Just surprising everybody with speed coming out of nowhere, just shots from all angles.
It would be like a big watch party for it. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, definitely both of those fighters, growing up, there's fight parties around them. Mm-hmm. Now bringing it to kind of present day, Charlie, who in your opinion is the number one pound for pound fighter today?
I mean, it'd have to be Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, he's on a lot of people's number one pound for pound.
Yeah, Bud's good. I can't wait for the Bud and Spence. Yeah, everybody wants to see that one.
That's one of those fights where it could bring boxing back, so they got to make it happen.
Yeah.
The kind of fights we need.
Yeah. You got Skywalker out here. What are you saying?
So he says, have you come up with a nickname, or do they call you anything in the gym?
Nah, I never had a nickname coming.
Charlie? Just Charlie?
Yeah, it's like we've thought about it, but everything, it just feels forced, Like most of the people that I know that have nicknames, they've had them their whole career,
coming up as kids. Yeah.
So I just feel like
give him a nickname. What's it gonna be starting today?
It's gonna be Relentless.
Relentless Charlie. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the lightweight division? We see us personally, we like that division very, very much. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was like the most popular division at one point, but I mean, Devin Haney's got all the belts now. Um, but I feel like he's not going to be at this weight for too much longer. So it's going to be interesting to see how the landscape of this weight class ends up working out in the next couple of years. I think it's going to, a lot of up and coming guys are going to take over.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, was it, I think it was 2 weekends ago on the Andy Ruiz Luis Ortiz undercard. We got the Jose Valenzuela versus Edwin de los Santos, you know, and Raya was the huge favorite and got knocked out in 3 rounds, and that already changed the landscape at a new player.
For sure.
So yeah, once those 4 belts are back up to grabs, it's gonna make things super exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Perfect.
We got another Skywalker question.
All right, Skywalker. Says, what do you think of Haney? They say his jab is impenetrable.
I like that. I like Devin. I like how he fights. I think he's very smart. Smart boxer. Sharp. Doesn't get hit. And I feel like he sticks to his game plan very well.
Yeah, and then another Bay Area, out of Oakland. His dad has roots here, and I know he's not fighting out of Las Vegas, but yeah, I'm a fan of Haney as well. Talking about kind of just boxing icons, what are some famous boxing people you had the chance to meet in person?
I've met Evander Holyfield. I met off my head. I mean, I don't know. I can't think.
It's just a lot.
I met a lot of people though. I haven't met like any. I met like Floyd Sr.
Nice.
Okay. You ever meet Pacquiao?
No, never met Pacquiao. I used to go to Wild Card, like at his gym in the underground a lot, but every time I went, he was never there.
Oh man!
All right.
That would be cool though.
I think it's that time, Jose.
All right, so it's the people segment. So Charlie, as I was kind of previewing with you before we jumped on, we're gonna ask you 3 fights, either confirmed or rumored, and we want you to basically play the fan and say who you think would win. So for our very first fight, we got a confirmed fight. We got Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. The rematch. Who will win? Who's gonna win that one?
It's tough to say because I'm on the same team with George. We got the same manager, and so I think he's gonna do a lot better than he did in the first fight. I think he'll make it a tougher fight, but I don't know. I don't have a prediction for that one.
Too close to call is also acceptable. All right, going to the second one, David.
Okay, man. So this one is a little out there. Jermell Charlo versus Tim Tszyu.
I gotta go with Charlo. Just he just always finds a way, and even when his rematches, like he get a draw or his loss, he just comes back and he finishes guys. So that he could just crack, and that kind of power is just. When you got 12 rounds, I think Charlo takes it.
Yeah, he's been looking really, really good.
I think it's a good one.
Cool. All right, and then the last one is for the hardcore fans here. This is an upcoming fight happening next weekend. We got not too far from you at Sacramento, Keyshawn James versus Richard Brewer Jr., both undefeated fighters at middleweight.
Who's taking the L?
I'm rocking with Keyshawn for sure. The Bay Area. He's gonna put his name on the map with this fight, and he's gonna take the other guy's O.
Same.
I heard it here first.
I think we agree, right?
Keyshawn coming back with his O intact. I agree.
Peace. All right. And then that jumps over to what do you like to do outside of boxing? What are interests and hobbies you do when you're not boxing or training?
I like to play basketball. We have a court down here in my hometown. We do a lot of pickup games. I'll play video games like 2K, Warzone, and all that. But yeah, other than that, like right now, it's usually just all boxing.
Yeah. Is the
Yeah.
Warriors your team?
I don't really watch basketball that much, but I really like. I watch football. Football is my sport to watch. I love football.
What about on 2K? Who's your team on 2K?
I made my own player.
Nice.
Like online with my friends.
Nice.
That's awesome. And then just piggybacking off the gaming question, are you a Sony or Xbox kind of guy?
PlayStation for sure.
PlayStation, for sure.
The classic.
Likewise, man. Gotta go with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then the last thing we have for you, Charlie, is not really a question, it's more just kind of like our open segment. So it's giving you the floor to tell anything you want to your fans, your supporters. Floor's yours.
I just want to thank all my fans, everyone that tunes in and congratulates me and wishes me good luck for my fights. I hope to keep putting on great performances for you guys, and I'll see you guys at the next one.
Absolutely.
Charlie, thank you so much for the time. We're excited to see you back in the ring before year end. Keep building your career and wish you much success.
For sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Take care.